Crawford, real quick. You made a posting about Thurman, Keith one-time Thurman. He's not too far from here in St. Pete, man. Go ahead and let's catch it on video. What do you have to say in regards to his fight with Pacquiao? And what do you look forward to competing against him?
Man, listen. I've been knowing Keith for a long time, since amateur days. I don't wish him nothing but the best. You know, I hope he go out there, do his thing, take care of Pacquiao, get the victory, and move on with his career to bigger and bigger.
Who you picking, Pacquiao or Thurman?
I don't really care who's on.
Pacquiao down for both of them.
Pacquiao win, that'd be a lot better. Bigger fight for you? Bigger, and I say Pacquiao fearless. Pacquiao fight anybody.
You don't think that Keith will fight you?
No.
Even after that fight, he won't fight you?
I think
Pacquiao take that fight. If Pacquiao wins, do you think he'll really fight you this time?
Yeah, Pacquiao. He fight anybody.
How would you break down Thurman versus Pacquiao? Pacquiao versus Thurman, my apologies.
It's just, I mean, Pacquiao is a legend, you know, and I would hate to see him go out and get demolished, you know, and Keith Thurman is somebody that can do it. Will he do it? I don't know, you know, but Pacquiao, you know, his age is showing, basically, you know, his last fight, what he fought Broner, right? His last fight was Broner.
Was Broner, yes.
You know, he beat Broner, but he didn't look like, he didn't look like too much. You know, he looking slow. Of course, he's still faster than most people because he's Pacquiao, but he's looking slower.
Which is funny that you said that. He's still faster than most people.
Yeah, because he's Pacquiao. You know, he's still, you know, the only 8th division world champion in the history of the sport. You know, he's still Manny Pacquiao. But, like I said, at the same time, you know, against Broner, he didn't look good. He ain't been looking good for a lot of fights, you know, against Jeff Horn, against Broner. Who else he fought before that? I forgot, you know, but he haven't been looking good. You know, it's the age, you know. Nobody beats Father Time. Everybody's gonna always lose to Father Time, you know. So, with that, and Keith Thurman's young, he's strong, undefeated, he's hungry.
But how did you think Thurman's last fight was? Did you? I'm sure you watched it.
I didn't. I didn't watch it. I heard about it. I watched like highlights and stuff like that.
Of course,
you know?
no, I mean.
But I saw he got robbed and all that type of stuff. But that was a comeback. That was a comeback fight.
Okay,
you know?
so you think that really plays like a huge difference into it?
You know, he ain't been in a ring in so long, so it's, you know, you can always judge it, but at the same time, you really can't judge it, you know, because that was a comeback. Yeah, you hear that, right? I'm not getting in trouble by the president, but the music is saying fuck Donald Trump. I'm not getting in trouble by the president.
Oh man, I know, right?
Yeah,
Gotta be
say fuck Donald Trump, but that's the music in here. But yeah, so.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah, they made sure they changed that.
I was like, that just got gangster real quick up in here. Well, you yourself, you're a boxer, so I'm sure it's different. You know how to really gauge it. Because, like, I mean, although from the sounds of it, you are constantly active.
But being in the gym and being in the ring is totally different things. Yeah, you can work. The bags don't hit back. So all the stuff I'm doing with the bag's not gonna hit me back. You know, especially not with no 8-ounce gloves on. You know, so you know you can practice and you can work, but you know it's a live opponent. The bag is not a live opponent. You know, so when you get there with a live opponent, it's always different. But yeah, like I said, you know, with Thurman, I just thought, you know, his layoff, that long layoff, just, you know, I mean, he was a little rusty, but I just think against Pacquiao, he won't be like that. I think Pacquiao can still win, of course, because he's Pacquiao.
Yeah,
and, you know, he's been legend, and he's been hit by way bigger punches than Thurman. You know, he's been hit by Cotto, and he barely got hit by Hatton, but you talk about people like Margarito and Clottey, and he fought all those, you know, big names, and, you know, he destroyed them, he ran through them. Even somebody like De La Hoya, he ran through all them. But he's not the Pacquiao, you know, he's not the same Pacquiao no more. So I just think that I just don't want to see him get hurt. You know, I think he can win, but at the same time, he's 40 now, and we all know what happened. You know, when the old man they start getting in the ring. I think Keith Thurman's like 30 or something like that. I don't know, 31, 30. I don't know how old he is, but he's way younger than Pacquiao, like 10 years difference or something, almost a 10 year difference. So yeah, I just don't want to see Pacquiao get hurt. But sometimes that might be the best thing for him. You never know, because sometimes, like when Ray Leonard came back.
Are you 50-50 then? Would you?
No, I'm not 50-50. I think he can win, but I'm more for Thurman.
You're more for Thurman.
I'm definitely more for Thurman. I would like to see Pacquiao win, but at the same time, I'm ready for him to retire. I think he should retire because, of course, if he beats Thurman, if he has a hard fight with Thurman, he beats him and he takes big punches from Thurman, that might do something to him in the long run.
So you're talking about health-wise.
Health-wise, yeah, health-wise. I'm talking
You're
about
saying
health-wise
it might be wiser just for you just to chill.
He might be wiser. It might be a good thing if he gets beat and gets beat bad because he'll retire. If he loses, if Pacquiao loses and it's a close fight, he gonna think, oh, I still got it, and then he'll have to fight somebody like somebody else, they won't make the Crawford fight because it's different promoters, but you might have to fight like a Crawford or Errol Spence.
And we're gonna go probably to the Pacquiao fight too.
Woo! Tell me about the Pacquiao fight, though, please.
Who's favorite? I think.
Who's favorite?
Yeah,
I actually don't know.
Yeah. It's a good fight, so it could be it's really good fight, so yeah.
Who do you have?
It's a good fight and everything, but I think Thurman is gonna win.
You think Thurman?
Yeah, I think Thurman's gonna win. Yeah.
Wow.
He's stronger, Pacquiao's he's getting older, and then also his confidence I think is not the same. Before he got knocked out by Marquez, he used to fight with not being scared, he'll go out there and wild and everything.
Yeah.
And now since he got knocked out, he's more cautious. He don't jump in as much, and
you feel he's a little more reserved.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he's been the same since. He's still good and everything, but it's not the same as when he was before he got knocked out.
Do you see it going by decision, or do you think Thurman's gonna actually, maybe potentially knock him out? What do you think is going to happen? How do you believe that Thurman will attain this victory?
Thurman's really strong, so I think he does land a good punch. He could knock him out, but Pacquiao, he's able to take a good punch.
He is.
Yeah, he is Marquez. He just caught him right on the button, but I think he's able to take good punches. So I think he's gonna go decision.
Go to decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. Do you have a prediction in that fight?
I wouldn't want to comment on that. And Manny is so kid has he's been out for a long time. He last fight wasn't looking impressive as and you see Manny Pacquiao. Even though he's home, but man, the footwork, the speed is still there. So man, I can't really say anything to that. But the best man win on the night.
That's an interesting fight. I think Manny has plenty left in him. He's still at the highest level in boxing, still world champion. But it's not an easy fight for him either. Thurman is very strong. He's hungry. I'm sure he's very hungry and motivated for this fight. I believe he's probably trained better than ever. Even though he had a long layoff earlier and he had the comeback fight against Osito, maybe didn't perform to his best abilities. But for this fight, I think he's in better shape now after having that, shaking off that rust from the layoff. So that makes it a dangerous fight for Manny because Thurman is strong and hungry and he can box. He can also move around. He's not just a brawler. He can move around and make it awkward and difficult for Manny. I still think Manny has more, and I think Manny should win. I think Manny has.
That would be something, though, wouldn't it?
Well, I think Manny has the footwork and the hand speed, and he punches in combinations that come from different angles. So I think that's kind of the way to win. Just kind of jump in and out with quick combinations, jump out. I think that should win, but it is risky. A punch could also turn it around, and Thurman does have that power to turn it around. He does have that, knockout power, and that could be a punch that lands and changes things. So I think it's a very good fight. I think it's almost like a 50-50 fight.
50-50.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Wow. It would be powerful, though, if Manny took that.
If Manny wins this, he's just beating guys almost half his age, or I don't know how, maybe 10 years younger or whatever it is.
Is this somewhere that you want to see yourself also? Because some guys they're done. They want to retire at, let's say, 38, 39. Would you like to see yourself with this
I have never thought I'd be boxing, for X amount of years. I never had that in mind. earlier I had said, you know, I'd probably retire on age 30, 32. But things are going well, and I was gone for that, you know, 2.5-year period, so I got more to give, and I'm not done. There's much more I want to accomplish. You know, if I had thought I'd be wrapping things up around this age, you know, things have changed, and I am not done at all. I got plenty more years to go.
Well, I mean, and Manny's such a prime example.
But Manny is one of few examples that can do that.
Yeah.
You know, not many fighters can keep performing at this level for as many years as he has. There's other fighters who continue fighting, you know, after their prime, and continue fighting for, you know, a few years after, but not at that level. They become opponents or stepping stones, and they become,
most definitely, yeah.
They become just another name. And Manny's not just another. He's still a champion. You know, he's still a championship level fighter at the greatest. So I mean, not many can do that. I mean, anybody else that was around Manny's, you know, generation is already retired. He's the only one that still do it, and like I said, at the highest level.
Do you
very
believe?
impressive.
Do you believe your lifestyle has a lot to do with that?
I think
Like the longevity of a career for a boxer?
not just your lifestyle, but your fighting style too. Even though Manny was an action-packed fighter, he was always a lot better than his opponents, and he was able to, you know, do it convincingly. Other fighters get knocked out multiple times, and then they start getting hurt. He was knocked out once, you know, by Marquez, but that was just one fight. You know, it was one punch, so he didn't sustain that much damage in that fight. As to where other fighters take, you know, more beatings during their fights, and they go to war more, and it takes more out of your body, out of your career. Manny, you know, lifestyle. I don't know what his lifestyle is like, but if he takes care of himself, I mean,
Basically healthy, yeah.
I assume he is.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and he's able to do it.
All right, so yeah, I heard about it as well. Thurman against Pacquiao and Errol Spence against Porter. So Thurman, Pacquiao. I mean, I think that's the best fight that Pacquiao could have chosen. Because I mean, come on, if he would have fought Errol Spence, it would have been a difficult fight. So that was thumbs up for Pacquiao and his team for not taking that fight. I mean, I just feel like, you know, that would be a little bit, you know, whatever. So, you know, Thurman, that's a really good fight. I like that fight because of the styles that they both bring in. Manny Pacquiao, again, you know, I think age is just a number for him. He's shown that, you know, coming back in this last, you know, performance against a young fighter, you know, as it was, what's the name, AP, Adrian Broner.
Oh.
And we saw what he did to him, you know, a young fighter, that flashy fighter. But Thurman is just a different animal, I think. Thurman, I mean, let's just say this. Thurman does throw. Thurman does, you know, go out there and fight, you know. And I am talking shit because Adrian Broner did and doesn't. He hasn't in like his last 3 fights. I think he just doesn't throw, man. The guy's like, you know, gun shy for some reason. He's flashy and stuff, but he just doesn't throw. Whatever. Thurman it's going to be a difficult fight, more of a difficult fight for Pacquiao. But then again, it surprises me to see Pacquiao every fight, you know, at this time and age of him, because he shows something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen it all, you know, throughout his career, and he could do it all. But for instance, this last fight, I like the pressure that he put against a younger fighter, against AB. That left was there, so great. The combinations, always the movement. He doesn't lose. He's not losing his legs. So again, the breakdown is, I feel that Thurman definitely feel that he should win the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Manny Pacquiao, you know, surprises with just the boxing skills that he holds.
So is Pacquiao considered the underdog because of his age, would you say? Do a lot of people, like, they put that into factor?
Yeah, a lot of people take that into factor, no doubt. I mean, especially against a Thurman that hasn't lost. He's undefeated.
So that would be more or
yeah.
less the reason why he's considered
Exactly.
the underdog. Okay, 'cause he's going up
But
against
still, I mean, he is going up against a legend. You know, that I myself personally a big fan and put him up. You know, up in the Ali, Frazier, like you know the top, you know, legend fighters because he is that living legend. You know, and still fighting Manny Pacquiao to do 106 to, you know, super welterweight and stuff like that, bro. Like you know, that's unheard of.
So right now you're kind of what, like maybe like 50-50 because it's
Right now,
like,
no. Like the
you
way
have,
I'm
like,
explaining
a lot
it, it's
of,
just like I'm telling people, like you know how even of a matchup is.
Yeah, no,
even
that's
with
what- that's
even
what
with
I
the number,
get
you know,
from
with
you. Exactly.
Pacquiao being older, because Thurman is vulnerable. He is that type of fighter that gets those shots. You know, like he got hit and he almost got knocked out by Josecito Lopez. So what does that let you know? That he's vulnerable to a left hand. In that case, it was a right hand. But I'm saying to punches that eventually can knock him out. You know what I'm saying? We all are. This is the business of hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's boxing. This is a beautiful sport that you know anything can happen. So again, I just feel it's an even matchup, but I'm leaning towards Thurman.
You got Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. I should have said it the other way around because Pacquiao's the A side.
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight? What's your predictions on that?
I think that could be an interesting fight. Pacquiao's speed is just so incredible, but you always have to wonder where his focus is because he's got a lot of other things on his plate. I don't think it's bad for other people to have multiple things on their plate. It's just a matter of, is it going to affect their boxing capabilities? And so I would love to see that fight. Pacquiao always is very willing to fight and therefore leaving himself vulnerable. So there can always be something that can be snuck in on Pacquiao. He has never changed his style as far as that's concerned. So I think it'd be a great fight.
Pacquiao Thurman's a good fight because, you know, Keith looked like he was shaking off some rust in the Josecito Lopez fight. Pacquiao looked good against Broner. It's kind of a good fight. I feel like Keith's going to bring a little bit more to the table now that he shook off the rust. And then, of course, you got to bring more to the table to beat the Pacquiao, to beat Broner. So I think it's an evenly matched fight. It's a good fight.